is good people? You are now listening to another episode of Since We Last Spoke with Danny Foxworth. I am your humble narrator, Danny Foxworth. And first order of affairs, I got to give a big shout out to Celeb Studio here in Columbia, South Carolina for allowing me to use their space. Man, if you ever need any podcast needs or just want to host an event, Celeb Studio is a place for you. So shout out to Chef Jay and the good folks at Celeb Studio. And without further ado, we are joined by an extremely special guest, Columbia, South Carolina's own entrepreneur, activist, podcaster, board game designer, multi-hyphenate. She wears so many hats. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Tanisha, a.k.a. Queen of Shall Be. How are you doing this evening? This afternoon?
Well.
Good.
How are
good.
you doing?
I'm good. So the first time I met you was at the taping of At the Table with Chef Jay.
Yeah.
And right here. And I made my shrimp and grits, and she made cabbage and hash. That cabbage and hash was so fire.
And that shrimp and grits. Don't forget the bacon.
Don't forget the bacon.
But yeah, that hash cabbage. Yeah.
That's
fun to make.
It was. It was fun to taste. And after we taped our episodes, we all got to sit and eat each other's cooking. And I tell you what, your cabbage and hash was so good. You gave me a to-go container, and I had every intention on finishing that at work the next day, and it didn't make it like 10 minutes after I left here. So that's a testament to your good cooking.
I appreciate it. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Oh, definitely. My stomach enjoyed it too. Mm-hmm. And so, so let's get into, in all seriousness, games. Mm-hmm. So how did you get into designing board games?
So I'm self-taught, and I learned after I had lost my job and I wanted to do something that I enjoyed. I loved board games ever since I was little. Mm-hmm. I tried to make a couple of them out of, like loose leaf paper and crayons or whatever when I was little. And one night I was playing games with my cousins, and we just got to talking about how it would be cool if there were games that, had characters that looked like us.
Yeah.
We started talking about sitcoms that we loved and comedies, because that's my jam.
Yeah.
And I said, man, it'd be cool to make a board game. So I reached out to some fellows in Chicago. They were two brothers, mm-hmm. and they had made the Martin Trivia game.
No kidding.
The trivia card game.
Wow.
So I reached out to them and I was like, yo, how did y'all do it? And, mm-hmm. and they were nice enough to tell me. So shout out to Jason Gray, who's my mentor, actually.
Oh.
Hello Zumble. And they just told me what they knew. I started meeting more people that were Black game creators. The community mm-hmm. is awesome. Sharing information is amazing. And I started letting people know that's what I do. Ask people to play my games, and they rock with it.
So I was going to ask you, what was the reception like when you released your board game?
It was shock. It was shocked, and then it was like, wow, that's pretty cool. And then when you actually play the game, you can actually not know anything about the show or different mm-hmm. world and play the game. It's actually made people want to watch the show more after playing. They were like, what's all that's going on? And,
yeah.
Since it was very nostalgic, and that's what I was going for, when people saw it, they were very happy. Like I said, interested in playing it. I've had a table of a family that included 4 generations of people at one time playing the game.
Wow.
So I did what I set out to do. I wanted to make something that reflected us and made us happy, inspired by things that we love, like sitcoms, cinema, and original content. And why not me?
Why not?
Why not?
So let's take it back to the very beginning. Mm-hmm. Growing up in Brooklyn, New York.
Yes.
What was that experience like?
It was insightful and intense. New York is a very intense place, very fast moving, very busy, very loud. That's where my volume comes from. You want to be heard or seen if you want to get things done there. So I had a lot of experiences that I now get to tell my kids about. Like, I had to walk to school every day, and I did, because there wasn't a bus route around. But I walked 2 miles to school one way back and forth every day. But I've also experienced a lot of info. I fell in love with bricks. I love architecture. New York is a beautiful place.
Yeah.
And there's so many different cultures that are there, and so much that you can learn from just being around other people. Mm-hmm. That's where I fell in love with music. And, fell in love with family. So yeah, New York it was a lot. I would not move back there because it is too expensive. and you know, like I'm older now. I want to check. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah, but I appreciate it. Spread love with the Brooklyn way.
There you go. So speaking of music, what was your first musical memory?
Oh my gosh, I can't believe you are good at this interviewing thing, sir. My first musical memory was, I remember it vividly. I want to say I was probably about 6 or 7 years old, but my mama and my aunt and I had went to an authentic Chinese cuisine restaurant. And I remember my mama ordering the Peking duck, and I was like, ew, because what are you doing? I just want an egg roll.
Yeah.
And on the radio was playing Conga by Gloria Estefan. How much did I do that for? Yep. That one.
No, you can't control yourself any longer.
I fell in love with that. When I heard them, the drums and the cowbell and just I said, wow. I wanted to hear that song all the time. Made my mother sick with it. But I wanted to hear it all the time. If I caught it on the radio, mommy, turn it up. You know, like, that's where I fell in love with drums. I found out about Sheila E. and I wanted to play the drums ever since. I finally got a drum kit a couple of years ago. Shout out to my friend Molly for that gift. And just, oh man. And also being in New York, I heard a lot of dance hall reggae. I heard a lot of Latin music. I heard a lot of African music, actually, and hip hop. Love hip hop.
Yeah.
Love hip hop. Fell in love with rap in Brooklyn. Even though one of my favorite rappers is not from Brooklyn, I still heard her music in Brooklyn. That's Queen Latifah.
Oh, Jersey. Yeah.
Latifah's Had It Up to His, the first song that I learned how to rap on my own. I wrote every single lyric. I had it on my tape deck. I was trying to record it on. I had to catch it when it was on the station, and I did the whole record thing. Man, there was a lot of press play, for pause, right, play, pause, right, but I got it down too, boy.
Okay.
Yeah, man. So shout out to you,
man. That made me think. I was the same way with My Posse on Broadway by Sir Mix-a-Lot. Same. That was the first rap song that I really remember from beginning to end.
Oh, what?
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah, that was my jam.
Did you write it out too?
I did.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
I did. And so, what was it like, that adjustment moving from Brooklyn to Columbia, South Carolina?
It wasn't too bad of a shock because I had been coming down to South Carolina for summers sometimes. Okay. So I had family in Elgin. And I had family in Eastover, and people look at me weird when I say I moved from Brooklyn to Eastover, because Eastover is like, what? Like, yes, and it is.
Yeah.
But aside from, at first it was a while I had to adjust to not having much noise. That was different. It was hard for my son to sleep because he was used to the noise. But after a while, it was really peaceful. I love that people wave. That was a little new at first because New Yorkers will not. Yeah. Yeah. And like, who do you know? You know me? Like, you seen me before? Yeah, nah. But it was so warming, and, it just felt familiar. Right. Even though I didn't spend a whole lot of time down here, I love the Southern hospitality, those who, have that within them and like to share that love. I thought it was cool. I would not move back to New York if your baby is too expensive. Yeah. It's too much. It's heavy. It's a heavy place to be at. And here, I just feel like there's more air to breathe, and more room. Everyone's not so crowded on top of each other like New York. And I appreciate that a lot about the South. Yeah. And the food. Man, y'all know how to cook. But now we know. I mean, my mama was from North Carolina. Okay. So I grew up with shrimp and grits and stuff like that. So I wasn't. So the transition was cool. But man, y'all be putting y'all foot in some stuff, yo. Like, you with that shrimp, them shrimp and grits was so good. And you picked the right size shrimp too.
See, why are you trying to make me cry during
Because you did, man.
I appreciate that.
Shrimp and grits with little ass shrimp. Just looking at it like, why are you here? But nah. Yeah, you did get the bacon. Don't forget the bacon.
Don't forget the bacon. DFTB.
That's what you say every time you come in my stream.
You did.
Like, That's how I know.
And speaking of the streams, so talk about the Twitch stream that you have, because it's like you always like super active on Twitch, and I love it. And I was actually a guest on your podcast via Twitch, and that was a lot of fun because your particular format of interviewing is so incredibly unique. Like you actually incorporate games into the interview. Like you roll the dice, and then the dice will land on a specific topic or a specific subject, and then you ask me a question pertaining to that topic. And I was like, man, this is one of the most fun interviews I've had in a hot ass minute. So get into how you got started with your Twitch channel.
Oh man, okay. So I got started with Twitch during the pandemic. And I just changed the word. But I got started then, and I was actually intimidated by Twitch because I had only seen like gamers really play. Yeah. And I'm not a big gamer. Well, I'll say this: I wasn't a popular gamer. Like I didn't play popular games all the time. I would play something off. Like if you put Duck Hunt up right now,
man, listen,
we will go at it. You know what I mean? Like I'll play retro games and older games, and they're called cozy games, as I've learned. But you know, games that are pretty chill, and other people were playing like Call of Duty or 2K and stuff like that. I'm like, I'm not a gamer. So I didn't. I stayed away from it for a while, but I saw people having channels, and then I just said, well, let me just try to play The Sims because I love playing The Sims.
Okay.
And I just went on there and I just turned the camera on, and people showed up and they were talking, and I was talking back, and I went to see some other people's channels, and I was like, they're not gaming. Like this person is crocheting, and this person is DJing, and this person is just talking on the phone or just cooking or so. I said, well, man. So it was like YouTube, but super interactive and turned up. And I love that they had little stickers. That got me. That's what did it right there. Those emotes, man. I said, you can make your own emotes.
That's your jam right there?
Man, listen, I love those stickers, little emotes, the little animated ones. And just the community of streamers, there's so many different age ranges and interests and stuff like that. So, and I also felt older because I'm 44.
Yeah.
So I was like, can I even do this? Man, look, people older than me, way older than me. There's a grandma in Ireland that streams and she plays Fortnite.
Really?
Busting them up.
Wow.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So I was like, yeah, I could do this. So, I just cut the camera on and it's fun. Met a lot of great people. And for my interviews, I knew I wanted to give back and I wanted to let people know about the cool people that I was meeting.
Yeah.
So I said, I got a platform. We can have a conversation, but how can I switch it up? And I love making games. Mm-hmm. I'm a game developer. I said, I'm going to make an interview game. So that way, it's never the same interview. Even if I use the same questions, we're not going to get it in the same order. And people, you learn by playing games, in my opinion. And you learn about when you play games. So I said, yeah, let's have some fun. I'm glad you enjoyed it. That was exactly why I created it. Yeah. So reach out to me if you want. It's fun.
So was there a particular game that really sparked your interest into developing board games?
Yeah.
And if so, what was it?
It was Clue. I love Clue. That game is fun. It's like a murder mystery. It's like you get to play into a different character if you want to. Mm-hmm. I've played rounds of Clue with people that really got into it. And when I saw that, I said, yeah, that's dope. I like that. It's a different outcome every time you play. Mm-hmm. Someone else can be the culprit, and it's in a different location. I like the way that it was set up. The top view, it looked like a little mansion, like a dollhouse and stuff like that. I just liked all the things that were put into it, and I wanted to make something that was interactive like that, where we get to step out of, being an adult.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You got to have that escape.
You got to. And why not do it together? Because sometimes some of the most greatest memories I have been at the table, be it at food or a game. We either playing a card game or now, and even video games when I was growing up. But at the table, you get to you really get to move pieces and roll dice and call out. And who doesn't have a story about a cousin that, that don't take losing well? I know I do. Shout out to my cousin. You know who you are.
Shots fired.
They know. Man, it's like, but you get to have those moments and look forward to that. And I just wanted to do something, especially when it came to games and loving it. I want my games to be a love letter to us. So,
I love that.
Yeah.
And so speaking of escapes, there's something that I always dug that you do pretty much every single day or night on your IG is you do your knees up.
Yeah.
So like you go live, you walk in the room, you spin the little disco ball, and you get it boogieing.
Let's go.
So what was the genesis of the whole knees up campaign?
Oh man. So in 2019 I had a terrible breakdown, and that's when I learned about the importance of mental health, because I went to go seek therapy. I went to talk to a professional because life had gotten heavy. And I didn't grow up talking about that or anything, or even in my community. We didn't talk much about what happens when you can't handle it. So I got nervous, and shout out to my friends that were very supportive and came with me when I went to go learn about what was going on. And I knew that seeing a therapist was good, but I was concerned about what to do when I did not have a therapist to talk to, or if I couldn't get to the therapist.
Yeah.
What if I just need to do, like, what can I do? And I had been holding myself back for years from dancing. Like I said, I love music, and I grew up dancing, and I love dancing. But over time, I stopped because of insecurity. I felt I was too old. I felt I was too big. I felt, just all the things that depression lies to you about really hit me heavy. And I said, I'm going to try to do one thing every day that makes me happy. I have this plaque in my house that says that. And I had been looking at it for years, and I said, no, I'm going to actually try it. So I saw this video that said 20 minutes of activity every day can help actually reduce the chance of getting certain illnesses, especially with melanated people. And I said, okay, I could try that. And I decided to dance every day for up to 20 minutes. So it's my mission to do one thing every day that makes me happy. And I have done it every single day since June 10th, 2019. I decided to go live on camera because on day 4, I felt like I was going to stop. And I was like, no, I want to live. So I have to, maybe if I turn the camera on, I'll be too embarrassed to stop, because I've had people see me do this now. So it was like a way to psych myself out to do it. But after a while, the camera just goes on. So I make sure I keep myself accountable. But yeah, it'll be 6 years this June, every single day.
Right on.
Yeah.
Proud of you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
So, in all seriousness, games, what other games have you created? Because I see over here, you got a smorgasbord of games over here. So yeah, share that with the audience.
Okay. So I have this one right here. This is Filming the Game. And this is the game that started it all. It's inspired by one of my favorite shows, A Different World, where you get to play as a character that goes to Hillman. And matter of fact, I love my board. I do. Shout out to Quinn McGowan that designed it for me. But yeah. And this is actually, I made 2 versions. This is the standard version because I wanted something that was a little more able to travel. And then I have a super big board that is huge and it's glossy. And I have the nice little bag that goes with it. But my second project is the Spades Coach. This was inspired by my brother, who does not play spades and would not play spades because he did not like being yelled at. And when people try to teach you, everyone doesn't know how to teach from a hostile free environment. So I created that to do.
That is very true.
So that's why I made this. And it's taught people too. It's really, really fun. And then my most recent game is inspired by Living Single, and that is Flavor the Game.
Dope. It's even got the font just like
Living
Single. It's
a little similar. It is, but my favorite part of this game, I know it's not the actual game, but my favorite part is the rules, because I made it look like a magazine. It's so cute. But yeah, those are my projects I have so far. I'm making more card decks because I noticed people love playing cards, and I love playing cards too. I'm working on some other games for couples, for families, and I make games on YouTube, which we got to play the last time that we were here.
That was a lot. And I got so invested because the screen is so blurry and I'm trying to figure out, all right, what cast is it? What sitcom cast is this?
Yep.
I was like, man.
It's a cool thing to play in the background. Like, you know what I'm saying? We have an event going on. Like we had here, there was an event going on. But in the background for people that, you know, just want to zone out real quick. And I saw so many games on YouTube where they were guessing. And I was like, if I see something, 9 times out of 10, I'm wondering, how can I make it relative to my culture? How can I celebrate my culture with something like that? So I made one for soul food. I made one for black sitcoms, black superheroes. That's a fun one. And I just released one for guessing HBC mascots.
No kidding.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Man, and matter of fact, I remember one of the questions when I was on your podcast was how many HBCUs are there? And unfortunately, I got it wrong. I guessed 11. I think it was 19.
19, yep.
Yeah.
You're right, yep. You did.
But I was so ashamed.
Look, if it wasn't recorded, you could have lied about it, but you can't.
Yeah, you're right. The element of live streaming, another boy, it puts you on the spot. Right. They hold that light to you like real good too. So now we're going to get into the 5-question segment. So the first and last question I ask every guest I have on here, questions 2 through 4 are 100% random. So question number 1, what were Queen's go-to school lunch items?
Ooh. Okay, listen, I got picked on for this, but I don't care because it's slack. Tuna sandwiches.
I'm not mad at that.
Tuna sandwiches and some plain chips. That's it. That's all I need in my life. I will have that right now. Yes.
So what did you put on the tuna sandwich?
My mama would have mayonnaise. She would have, she put onions in hers. I would say don't put any onions in mine. Right. She would have hard-boiled eggs and just some simple salt and pepper and maybe celery. One time I tried celery. I thought that was cool for the crunch. But chips did that anyway. So real simple.
Good point.
Mm-hmm.
Question number 2. What's your favorite condiment?
Probably ketchup. Simple.
Yeah.
I love fries.
Yeah. Can't go wrong with fries.
Cannot go wrong with fries, man. Give me fries. I don't need that.
I was a Heinz fiend as a kid.
Ooh, was it because of the commercial?
Mm-hmm.
That's what did it for me, man.
My papa, he would get the glass bottle of Heinz. He'd smack the bottom of it and then the cap. Good time. Good time.
Yeah.
You know, potatoes. It's wild how versatile of a vegetable potatoes are because, I mean, you get fries, you get mashed potatoes, you get hash browns, you get potato
salad.
It's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Question number 3, pancakes or waffles?
Waffles.
Why's that?
Because they're thicker. I feel like I like being able to put my syrup in the little wells.
Yeah, I get it. My pops is the same way. He's really particular about preferring waffles over pancakes. He'll eat pancakes if they're on the plate, but he'd much rather prefer waffles.
Yeah, definitely. And I like that it gets it has a little bit of crisp if they're done in just the right way. Got that salt inside, a little bit of crisp. Yeah, man. It
can't beat it.
Nice little dollop of butter.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
See, you gonna have my stomach.
Question number 4. Who was your first black school teacher?
Miss Johnson. In
what grade
kindergarten.
Was that? Okay.
Mm-hmm. And I loved her because she was so nice. She was a tall, slim, dark-skinned woman. She always had her hair in 2 braids that went this way. And my last name, was Johnson. So instantly connected. Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Miss Johnson.
And it's crazy. I didn't have my first black school teacher until 6th grade.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
He was my art teacher, Mr. Rollerson.
Wow. How was that?
He was cool. Okay. He was super cool. I mean, just seeing somebody that looked like me, right. I was like, wow, finally.
Yeah.
But it was him and then my math teacher in 6th grade, Miss Baker. She was really cool too.
Yeah. Shout out to teacher.
Last question. What was the last thing that really made you laugh?
Recording this thing.
Hey, see, you seeing how the sausage is made now. Little inside baseball for you. We had some technical difficulties. I was like, you know what? I'm not sure whether or not we got this thing done right, but hey, third time is the charm. So
we did not start out.
we got on base. So
yes.
yay us. Yes. So anything you want to plug or promote? The floor is all the way yours.
Oh man, I would love for you to visit me on Twitch. You can find me at twitch.tv/IASgames.com. Spell the whole thing out. You can find me on Instagram, like Danny mentioned, every day. I don't have a set time that I dance. I just pretty much dance when I can and when I feel it. But you can find me at Queen Latifah on Instagram and all social media. IAS Games and Queen Latifah on all social media. I'll have some events coming up. I got some interviews coming up. Danny's interview will be posted in a couple of weeks, so you can check me out on YouTube for that. It was definitely a good black time.
It was. Yes, it was.
And check out my website at www.iasgames.com.
Very well said. And man, I tell you, she's just such a dope creative, and she does so many dope things.
Like, and seriously. I got a surprise for you. I made you some hashtags. I told you during your interview, I said, next time I see you, I'll make you something. I'll bring you something.
And you stood on that too. Man, I cannot wait to sink my teeth into that cabbage hash.
Yeah. Ooh, you know, and jollof rice.
See, and I don't even want to do no shout outs or no where you can find me. I almost want to just cut this off and go straight to cabbage and hash. But listen, thank y'all for listening. Oh gosh, see, you got me all discombobulated now. Thank you, Queen Latifah, for being a guest on here. This was so much fun.
It was, absolutely. I'm glad you invited me. I'm happy to be here.
And thank y'all for listening. Make sure you like, download, and subscribe to Since We Last Spoke with Danny Foxworth. Tell a friend to tell a friend about the podcast. You can find me at Danny Foxworth 843. You can find my YouTube channel, which is also at Danny Foxworth 843. See, I made it simple for you. There you can find videos for every episode of this podcast, as well as my Candle podcast, The Wicked Good Time with Danny Foxworth, my baseball podcast, At the Plate with Danny Foxworth, and my other podcast, Growing Up Low Country with Liz and Danny. And for Queen and myself, this has been another episode of Since We Last Spoke with Danny Foxworth. And until next time, y'all be good. Peace.